So we've got Israel Adesanya coming up in weight to take on the light heavyweight champion Blachowicz for the upcoming UFC 259, I believe. Not this weekend, but next, I think. And this one's an interesting one. Just because Israel Adesanya is obviously moving up in weight, and there's a lot of different factors that could play into how this goes down. First of all, obviously, Blachowicz is probably the most powerful guy that Israel Adesanya has faced. You could make the argument that he just fought Paulo Costa, and he's fought guys like Yoel Romero, and those guys, in their own right, could be light heavyweights. So maybe this isn't the biggest stretch for Adesanya anyways, considering so many of these middleweights are gigantic guys who are just cutting weight to get down to that weight class, the middleweight. Another thing that's making this fight interesting is Adesanya has decided to not put on any extra weight for this fight. I don't really understand how that works, because I don't really know how much he cuts in the first place to get down to. So is Israel Adesanya cutting 20 plus pounds to get down to middleweight? I didn't think he was. He doesn't look that depleted for weigh-ins for his middleweight fights. I didn't realize he was cutting this much weight. So for him to say that he's not going to be putting on any extra weight for this is surprising. I would have thought he had to put on at least, a few pounds to get to the weight class. I just assumed he walked around at 190 pounds. But I would agree with his assessment that he doesn't have to put on the weight he shouldn't. It'll just, look at Luke Rockhold. He moved up to light heavyweight and put on a lot of muscle and a lot of fat too. And he looked terrible. Blachowicz fucked him up. But that's a whole other story to begin with as well, because Luke Rockhold has had problems for a while. But I would agree with Adesanya's assessment to not put on weight if he doesn't have to. It's just going to throw his mechanics off. He's already a sniper. I think he can already knock guys out that are legitimate light heavyweights that are just cutting weight to get down to middleweight. So he should be able to knock out these light heavyweights too. He just means he doesn't have to cut the weight, and he can have a little more extra power from that, from not depleting himself a little bit, and just keep his accuracy, keep his overall balance, his athleticism all intact without, doing what John Jones is doing to move up to heavyweight and talking about putting on 15 pounds of meat. Isn't really possible without steroids. John Jones back on the roids, probably. And I could say the same thing about Israel Adesanya, not saying that he's going to be using steroids to get up to light heavyweight, but the fact that he's got some gnarly gyno is a huge red flag that he is a steroid cheat. Because, let's be honest here, guys who look like Adesanya, who aren't overweight at all, he's a perfect specimen of a man, isn't going to develop gyno because he was over-aromatizing and overweight. So how did he get it? Is it just that 1 in a million chance that he got it because it just, bad luck? Or he got it because he was using something and his estrogen levels raised along with his testosterone, putting him out of whack, resulting in gyno. Some of the gnarliest gyno I've ever seen too. It'll be interesting to see if he did anything surgically to help himself out, to look a little better nasty little titty that he's got rolling on. But all the gyno talk aside, let's talk about Blachowicz. He is quick, but obviously he's not going to be as quick as Adesanya coming in without putting on any extra weight. It's just not going to happen. He's just not going to be as quick as Adesanya. Blachowicz is an accurate striker. He is quick in his own right, just not as much as Adesanya. And he's obviously more powerful than Adesanya. If he's going to win this fight, he's going to have to circle off the cage. He cannot let Adesanya circle out around him and pick him off from the outside. It's just not going to work. I mean, we all saw what happened to Paulo Costa. He just got totally pieced up, and he let Adesanya run around circles around him. Blachowicz does the same thing. I mean, we're going to get the same results. Blachowicz in his last fight showed a really good combinations where he would start with his hands and finish with his leg kicks. This could be a tool. He needs to get Adesanya backpedaling towards the cage with a good hand combination, and he needs to attack Adesanya's leg, finishing with a leg kick or a side body kick. But he needs to stay in front of him and not let him escape out the side. He could overwhelm Adesanya and catch him with power shots doing this. That is his path to victory. He can't do this. I think he's got no shot in hell. I think Adesanya is gonna snipe his ass. It's a really hard fight to call, just because there's so many unknown factors. This is just different altogether, and I really didn't think we'd be seeing Israel Adesanya fight Blachowicz out of all people. Initially, when Israel Adesanya was coming up in weight, the talks were for John Jones, as John Jones moves up to heavyweight. So, this wasn't something I thought I would be seeing anytime soon. But, if I was a betting man, if I had to pick, gonna have to pick Israel Adesanya round 2 TKO.